So, here I am about to do my icebreaker speech. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Some of you may remember that when I was a guest, I was asked to stand here and explain what attracted me to the group. I explained that public speaking is one of my greatest fears, and described the sensation as like standing on ice, thinking that it could crack at any moment. And here I am now, about to intentionally break the ice with you. Let's see whether I sink to the cold depths or not. My parents divorced when I was in my early teens, and growing up, I witnessed many friends and family members get married and often then get divorced. The chances of a successful marriage didn't seem favourable to me, and I began to ask myself questions like, is marriage, monogamy, and the nuclear family the only option? This line of questioning led me to be interested in eco-villages. An eco-village being a group of people who come together with an idea of how to live harmoniously together and then attempt to do so. During my late 20s, I spent time living in several eco-villages in countries such as India, Portugal, Romania, and Switzerland. And it was during this time, while staying in Findhorn in Scotland, that I was first introduced to edges as a concept. And I was at Findhorn also studying permaculture. And for those of you that don't know, permaculture is a way of growing food on land by creating harmonious, symbiotic ecosystems. One of the core principles that we were taught whilst studying permaculture was to maximise the edges of ecosystems that we were using in landscapes. The reason being that the edges of ecosystems are often very challenging places, but they also provide great opportunity for life and diversity to flourish. If you think of the coral reef at the edge of land and ocean, you'll recognise that the concentration of life here is higher than anywhere else in the ocean. So, I've been introduced to edges as a concept and the idea that they provide challenge, but also the opportunity for development. I began to think of edges in my own life and times that maybe I'd left my comfort zone to explore them. I was reminded of a time in my early 20s when, by means of bus and train, I decided to travel from South Ruislip to South India to complete a yoga teacher training course. I didn't realise at the time, but this was clearly me creating challenges for myself to explore edges. And it was on this trip that I thought that maybe I'd crossed an edge, possibly to never return. This was in Balochistan, in Pakistan, where I was attempting to get a taxi to a bus station to travel onto a city called Quetta. I got into a car thinking it was a taxi, but instead of being taken to the bus station like I'd asked, I was taken on to a destination completely unknown. The driver didn't speak English, I didn't speak his language, and it began to dawn on me that I may have been kidnapped. The driver then urged me to repeat some phrases after him. I was terrified. I obediently obeyed, having no idea what I was saying, whilst my petrified, irrational mind thought I was being prepared for some kind of sacrifice. You can imagine my relief when I realised the driver simply wanted to take me to meet some of his friends and family, because it was so unusual for European people to be visiting his area. He then dropped me at the bus station, charging a very honest fare. Today, the concept of edges is pertinent for me in relation to the subject of freedom of speech and the contentious question of where the legal edges of speeches lie. In Canada earlier this year, the Supreme Court ruled that the truth is no defence in restricting speech that is likely to cause offence. It is my ambition that truth and freedoms of expression are not restricted so that offence is not risked and ideologies are not criticised. On this topic, I agree with the maxim commonly attributed to Voltaire, which I would say is also indubitable. That is, I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. On a lighter note, I would like to explain how edges have played a role in a recent romantic relationship. And both my partner and I recognise that the initial stages of our relationship have regressed for a tentative expansion of our edges into each other. We also recognise that the period of cautious incremental advances will soon come to an end and a brave leap will need to be taken. The process is explained to me in a short poem by Christopher Lowe that I'd like to share with you and finish with. Come to the edge. We might fall. Come to the edge. But it's too high. Come to the edge. And they came, and he pushed, and they flew. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Elliott, and well done for crossing the edge as well.